I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's begin this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Please call the roll. Here.
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 Morning.
Here.
Here.
Here. All right, thank you very much. So we have a quorum. The first item on today's agenda is a presentation to the guest first participants who are earning the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute Certified Guest Service Professional designation. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and recognize Nicole King-Smith for that presentation. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good morning, Council. Good morning, community. We are excited today to present our newest Certified Guest Service Professionals in our Guest First program. And for those of you that don't know, we have our own signature Guest First Hospitality Customer Service Training / Workforce program, and it's in partnership with the American Hotel Lodging Education Institute. And this morning, not only are we going to present our Certified Guest Service Professionals, but we are excited to say that we have 16 certified properties in our community. And in order to become a certified property, you would need to send all of your frontline team through our signature Guest First program. So at this time, I would ask Ms. Tamara Pygott to please come up and be presented with the plaque as we are a certified destination. So this plaque reads, Certified Guest Service Property, the Gold CGSP, in recognition of its commitment to guest service excellence, Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau 2023-2024. Woohoo! Yes. All right, so again, in order to be recognized today, you would have had to come through not only our Guest First training program, but also you would have had to sit to take the exam to become a certified guest service professional. And so as to date, we actually have 1,106 certified guest service professionals in our community. That is one of the largest actually in the United States. So we are extremely proud of our destination and everything that we are doing here. And so as we recognize today, I'm going to ask if people will come up and get recognized. When I call your name, you'll get your certificate and your pen, and then we'll ask that you come back to your seat, and then we'll go next door to do a photo op. All right, so let's get started. From Stealth Management, we have Lacey Whitlock. Please come up. And from the town of Fort Myers Beach, we have Deborah Cahoot. Please come up. And as I look amongst the audience, is there anyone else who's here today to be recognized whose name I did not call? All right, well, congratulations again. And for all the CGSPs, if you can join us in the room next door, we're going to do a photo op. Thank you again. Have a great day.
Well, congratulations again to all the CGSPs. I'm learning all the acronyms this year. I got the CDBG and the CGSP.
We have a lot of acronyms in government, don't we?
Here at the VCB.
At the VCB.
All right, well, congratulations again, and thank you to everybody who took the time to receive that education. That's a big deal because obviously we know customer service is a big reason why people keep coming back and visiting our area and having a great time. So, all right, at this time, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. It is the approval of the August 10th, 2023 TDC meeting minutes. I assume everyone's had a chance to review those. Are there any corrections or revisions that need to be made? Any comments? Okay, seeing none, then at this time I'd like to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Wajulis makes a motion for approval, and Mr. Johnson makes a second. Do we have any discussion on that? Do you have any public comment on that action before we take action on it? Okay, I see no public comment. Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. All right, at this time we'll turn to public to be heard. I don't have any comment cards in front of me, but raise your hand if you've come to speak in public comment this morning. Great. Okay, please. Oh, you're from Margaritaville. That's wonderful. Well, please visit the podium and just state your name for the record when you get up there. We're so excited to have you here this morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amberly Bucci. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager at Margaritaville Beach Resort in Fort Myers Beach. These are my wonderful colleagues, Tracy, Sales and Catering Manager, and Michelle, Director of Sales and Marketing. We are so excited to be here today and announce that we are now taking reservations at Margaritaville starting December 26th. So we can't wait to welcome you all to the resort. I took a tour last week and it looks absolutely incredible. We have 6 amazing food and beverage outlets, a beautiful lagoon pool by the Fins Up Beach Club, a gorgeous ballroom for meetings and events, a full service spa. So it's going to be incredible. We actually just had 4 very successful recruiting events the past 2 weeks, where we hired over 200 new employees for the resort, and for the goal to get to about 300, I believe. So things are moving along. It's been a long time in the works, and we're just so excited to welcome you all to the resort and have you come and visit us. If you have any questions, we can meet after, or just let us know.
Excellent. Congratulations on that. We're so excited to see you guys fill up and to see new exciting development on Fort Myers Beach.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, has anyone else come to speak on under? Oh, great. Please visit the podium. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Wilson with Edison and Ford Winter Estates. We are excited for a new season coming up. We have a lot of events planned this weekend. We have our orchid sale and symposium. So if you're into orchids, stop by. We'll have several vendors from other areas of the state selling orchids, and we'll also have some experts speaking about how to care for those orchids, how to attach them to trees, things like that. And then on the 28th, we're going to have our fall festival again, and that's a family-friendly event with a lot of different kids' activities. We'll have a pumpkin patch. And then coming up in November, we'll have our garden festival again. And then we kick off the 48th annual holiday nights the day after Thanksgiving. So we're very excited about all those upcoming events. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your comments. Has anyone else come to be heard this morning? Any further speakers? Okay, I see no further speakers then. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public to be heard. We'll, at this time now, call for municipalities to be heard. Has anybody come from any of the municipalities? Great, please visit the podium. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. How's everyone today?
Good.
Great.
Okay. If you hadn't heard me, I am Sharon Woodbury, the Economic and Business Development Manager for the City of Cape Coral. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to give you some updates and talk about some of the exciting things that are happening in the City of Cape Coral. So we've got a host of upcoming events that's happening, starting with Bike Night. To have and to host, and we hope that we'll have some visitors outside of our residents come and join us for these festivities. And the Economic and Business Development Office, in concert with the city manager, we host monthly roundtable meetings and focus on different industries. This month, we'll be working with the Workforce and Education Industry Roundtable. So we'll be talking to some of our secondary institutions, some of the employment organizations, and really just trying to get everyone at the table to talk about where our shortcomings are, our opportunities, where we can help to advance a common agenda. So we're really looking forward to that event. And Bimini Square, I've talked to you in the past about this exciting project that's happening in our South Cape, a waterfront mixed-use development. Just really quickly, $55 million investment, $55 million plus. Mixed-use project, again, waterfront. It will be a restaurant, some retail and professional space and apartments. We're excited to announce that we have a groundbreaking that's going to be occurring this month. And for some reason, the date is blacked out. But I believe the date was October 19th. So we're really looking forward to this and seeing this project move forward. And I wanted to give you some updates on our Cape Coral Quest. Thanks to the support from the TDC, we've had great success and participation with the app, and you'll see we've got some statistics listed here. Close to 4,000 people who have signed up, over 6,600 locations. We've had a number of different awards provided by Sunsplash. We've added just close to 150 people who are in the registration and eligible for the Weston Stay Contest. 435 prizes claimed and 159 coupons redeemed. So really great program that we have. We thank you guys for your support with that. And I think it's really catching on. Our staff is really been creative in some of the locations and really trying to mix things up. So we're excited to have that happening. And we did kick off a economic and business development strategic plan that we'll be moving forward with. And one of the first items that we moved forward with was getting a public survey out there and getting input from both our businesses and our residents about what priorities are, really getting a good pulse on some areas that they'd like to see us working on. And so I've included the QR code here for anyone who's interested in participating. We really would like to see our businesses participate in addition to residents. And we successfully hosted a resilience rally for the anniversary of Hurricane Ian. On September 29th, we had a great turnout, live music, food trucks. We had over 2,000 residents attend the event. We were able to collect over 2,500 pounds of food items for donations. So it was a good time held by all. One of the initiatives that we're trying to implement with the City of Cape Coral there are a lot of events that we're hosting in the South Cape, kind of the central area, but we do want to spread the love throughout the Cape, and so this was more in the northwest quadrant and being able to move things around and host events throughout the city. So huge success, great entertainment, and fun was had by all. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharon. Great report. Are there any other municipalities to be heard this morning? Oh, yes. Please join us at the podium.
Hello, my name is Jeff Hauge, and I'm the Cultural Parks and Rec Director for the town of Fort Myers Beach. I just want to update you a little bit on what's going on on Fort Myers Beach, because we have a lot going on right now. I don't have a nice PowerPoint, apologize for that, but you'll get a lot of information from me right now. So just to start out, we had a great, great and somber remembrance of the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Ian down at our Times Square down on Fort Myers Beach. It was good event. We had at Bayside Park, we had dignitaries and speakers there. We went down to Times Square and unveiled our clock. That was a big deal to a lot of our Fort Myers Beach residents. Businesses opening, lots of traffic. We painted our wavy wall, really colorful, real inviting. We planted some new trees down there that were taken out from Hurricane Ian. So Times Square in general has always been our center and our hub for our visitors, but we really think it's going really well, and we have a lot of traffic. Just some other updates on the Mound House. Mound House is open. It's open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The museum is open for tours. The grounds are open daily. There's places for our observation pier for fishing. There's nice green space out there looking at the back bay. Kayaking, we have a kayak launch that's being used quite frequently. And then we also have kayaking tours on Saturday mornings that you can sign up for on our website. We also offer FGCU tours, about 2 a week that come down from FGCU and tour our property. And then we also are hosting homeschool tours and activities for those that are in homeschool and sign up. Newton Park, another big one and hot topic for us. Right now, we have a contract with the state. It's the sand renourishment plan, the beach renourishment plan. But we are looking at very soon getting the restrooms back, the portable restrooms for now, and then activities such as beach walks and those things, a nature path, an educational center. And then Bay Oaks, just going to mention on Bay Oaks, it's our recreational campus. Our ball field, our Little League field is complete. Kind of took a little bit of a hit from Hurricane Idalia, and we had about another 1.5 feet on the brand new sod that we put in. So it was a little disappointing. We had to push back our re-grand opening to the 25th. It's Wednesday the 25th from 4 to 6:30. There'll be representatives from Major League Baseball, Scott's. 7-Eleven also helped contribute to that, and there'll be a clinic for kids. So from 5:15 to about 6, there'll be a clinic for kids that Major League Baseball's putting on, and food vendors and all sorts of fun stuff for them. We also have Fright Night coming up. That's been a tradition for about 30 years. We had to miss it last year, obviously, but we are redoing it. Usually we have it in our rec center, which is currently being redone and being hopefully open in November. That's our plan. So Fright Night is actually the 20th from 4:30 to 6:30. We're going to have bounce houses, food vendors, costume contest, trunk or treat. So a lot going on the island as far as my department goes. So I want to thank you for giving me a time, and I'll pass it over to Jason.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Freeman, Public Works Director for the town of Fort Myers Beach. I just want to thank you all for your ongoing support of all of our beach maintenance activities. As Jeff mentioned, we've had a lot of traffic and visitors coming onto the island, and a lot of businesses are reopening and continuing to progress with all their recovery efforts. We did get the clock unveiled on the 28th there officially, so we've had a lot of visitors coming down to take a look at that and see the progress that we're making. On top of that, with the help of the TDC funds, we've been supplying some portable restrooms at one of our beach accesses as well as in the Times Square area. And then we're also working on getting a replacement restroom trailer at our Palm Avenue beach access where we had one before the hurricane, on top of looking into some options for Newton Park too, to just continue on providing that accessibility for everybody for public restrooms on the island. On top of that, we're just working hard to restore our beach accesses, keep them level, keep them open to everybody, returning some signage and native plantings and all that sort of thing. So we really appreciate all the support that you all have given us for that. The TDC has been a huge help and assistance in our recovery efforts, on top of on just making sure everything is open to the public and welcoming people back as quick as we can. Ongoing with that, we're working on and just really continuing on with those ongoing efforts with all of our accesses and across the island. So we have a lot of exciting events, I think, coming up still to keep people coming onto the island, and as well as helping our locals there as well. So we appreciate all the support. Thank you.
I do have one more comment that we want to thank the VCB for the Songwriters Festival we had at our new Bayside Park and Mound House. The event was amazing. The artists were fantastic to work with. We had some rain at the one at Mound House, but they were adaptable, and everything went so well. So thank you for that as well.
Glad to hear that. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your report. Very good. Are there any other municipalities who wish to make a presentation this morning? Okay, I see no further hands, so at this time we'll move forward to the report of the Executive Director. Ms. Pyatt, go ahead.
All right, good morning. And to the town of Fort Myers Beach, I know getting that Bayside Park back was a labor of love for several reasons, but it also was very much a benefit to the Songwriters Festival. So to the town staff, thank you for all that hard work. I know those things don't just happen, they happen with a lot of work, so hats off to them for that. I will, before, I'm going to go through the numbers that you see on the slides ahead, but I do want to share a little bit about Island Hopper Songwriter Festival. We'll have a full report for you later. It was a little bit quick. You know, we want to have the survey results and all of that for you. So we'll give you a report, but I just wanted to give you some numbers. So our attendance was approximately 13,500. Off a tiny bit from last year at 15,000, but I think given the smaller number of venues, more venues, more people to count, and also, some of the other challenges we have faced since the last time we did Island Hopper, I'm really proud of that 13,500. We had about 3,800 on Captiva. We went to Cape Coral for the first time this year. We had about 1,200 people at 3 venues in Cape Coral. And then we're downtown just for 2 days this year. That number was about 1,200 as well. And then back to Fort Myers Beach for the final weekend where we had about 4,300 participants. Concluded it with the pool party at Pink Shell, which had about 1,500 people at it. Everybody had a good time. A lot of rain challenges this year, given the, but people were really happy to be there. The mood was very positive, and once again, music heals, and I think there was a lot of healing as a result of it. Super proud. One tidbit from our survey, we surveyed about 311 attendees. 58% said they had booked a room. 21% of those said they had booked a room for 4 nights or more. And 45% of the venues reported food and beverage revenue was up by over 20% over last year. So not only did people come, but they spent money in the businesses, which is, of course, the ultimate goal. Heads in beds and supporting our local businesses. So our dates for next year are September 20th through 29th. And, we can't be more excited to do the 10th anniversary of Island Hopper Songwriter Festival. So that's a little update about that. And again, Nancy will give you images and video. We'll have a lot more when we do our full report, but just didn't want to let this meeting go without talking a bit about Island Hopper. So because we didn't have a meeting last month, I'm going to be presenting 2 months worth of data here. So July bed tax collection, 2.4 million, down 51%. August, about 1.9 million, not as much of a decline. August was a better month for us. Overall, a 38% decline. And for our fiscal year to date, through August, 34.6 million. We have 1 more month of collection. I think we'll land probably somewhere between 35.5, 36 million for the year, which is a bit better than I thought when we started this. I will be honest. After the hurricane, I thought we would probably be 50% down for the year. So I'm pretty pleased with the way the numbers have come in, despite the fact that we're down so significantly. Star report for July, occupancy at 66%, ADR at 132.37, and RevPAR at 87.78. August, as I mentioned, August was a little better. You'll see occupancy was actually up 62.4%. ADR at 123.82 and RevPAR at 77.32. And I think the thing that excited me the most about that August STAR report was how we did to the other destinations in Florida. We had, really nice August, and not everyone else did. A lot of places were down in August, so it was good to see us benefit from some of that. Key data are vacation rental occupancy for July, 28%, ADR 182, a RevPAR of 51, and August, 18%, 161, and $28 on the RevPAR. Hotel room update. We did have some hotel rooms open this past month, so this is your October, as of October 9th. We're at 10,104 rooms, 71.1% of what we had open pre-Hurricane Ian, and so a little bit up there, which is good news. Some rooms opened on Sanibel. The number's getting a little bit better out there and a little bit better at Fort Myers Beach every single month. So we'll continue to do those surveys every month so that we have an updated report for you.
The August numbers, huge.
Yeah,
huge.
exactly.
Occupancy up.
It's amazing. Yes, as I said, when I got that report, I was like very pleased. And I honestly think overall September was a better month too. Looking at the weekly STAR reports, I think when we get the final September report, we're going to see an increase. I don't know what you have seen at your properties, but I anticipate that September will be a better month as well.
The decline year over year, the rate for August, that's just the mix of the higher
Yes,
hotels.
correct.
Beach not being operated. So
You see it on this slide very clearly.
Up over August of last year is huge. So,
Well,
it looks like the tide is turning, and that's great. Great job.
well, I will admit that from this point forward, we're going to be reporting increases, and I'm not excited about those increases because we know what it's over. We're going to have to be very realistic about what we see. But we are moving in the right direction, and that makes me happy. And again, the news of Margaritaville opening, more rooms returning at Pink Shell, and the Diamond had the opening of the Sanibel Island Beach Resort. All of these things are really great opportunities for us to talk about all there is to do in the community, and I can assure you that's our effort right now.
Question?
Yes.
If I may, Chair. How about vacation rentals? How are we able to track those? Because that's really a segment. I know our vacation rentals on Sanibel, they're more open than hotel rooms. And that's going to, I don't know how we can track those, but if we can, that's going to be vitally important over the next couple of years.
Tracking the number is the challenge.
Yeah.
We have the occupancy information from key data.
Right.
But they're doing that via data scraping, right? So it's based on properties that are posted on the internet. They're scraping that data and saying, all right, when that property went offline, then it was occupied. If it's still posted, it's not occupied. It's not a perfect system. The count is not perfect. We are trying to get our arms around it, but I will tell you, every destination in the country is trying to get their arms around it.
So I think what we could do as communities, what I've asked my financial department is to give me the list of the registered vacation rentals that we have right now. And so if I would challenge every municipality to do the same thing and then pass that forward to you, because that's going to change these numbers.
Yes, it is.
Because those
These are just hotels, to be clear.
Yeah, but we can also, we always have a difficult time, and also we've got to have, make sure we have compliance. So I'll make sure that I get that list to you, because if we've got active vacation rentals, which is a huge part of all of our segments right now, that's going to be helpful information to boost for you.
And, we know a lot of those went offline, just, all the challenges we all had in our own homes and our businesses. We know a lot of vacation rentals went offline. They seem to be, again, big property, small property, things are going, at different paces. Mm-hmm. So those will be coming back online as well. So I anticipate as we go through this next fiscal year, we're going to see those numbers creeping up again.
Well, I'll make my commitment to you that I will present those monthly, so at least you'll have Sanibel's.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
And like you mentioned, there are services available that do that work for you and produce those reports that we can, in our municipalities, we can cross-check against those properties that are registered, and then to determine whether or not the tax is being collected and submitted. And so we've chosen a service, and we'll be getting those reports on a regular basis as well, so we can bring those too.
Absolutely. If you're willing to share, we will appreciate that information. It will help us build a fuller picture of what's going on. But I can assure you, we're tracking the bed tax by those categories and such, so we do, that is happening. All right?
I have a weird question.
Okay.
I always have weird questions. So as I'm looking at the August numbers, we have it broken down by the counties, which
Oh, sorry, the STAR report.
are looking at the STAR report?
Yes.
When you look at the census for Lee County, it says that we have 10,242 rooms in August, but yet we just said that we only had 10,104 as of today. So
STAR is not perfect. That's what I'm going to tell you. I know everybody thinks STAR is perfect, but we are surveying the hoteliers and getting their numbers. They're not real good at partial openings. So if it's partially open, or if there's some rooms closed, so I realize the numbers are different, but they're at least directionally the same.
I mean, as I look at it, our occupancy is actually higher than what
Correct.
STAR is reporting.
Correct.
We actually have better numbers.
And similarly, I can tell you, we just got our weekly STAR report for the week of October 1st, and they showed, I'm not making this up, 738 new rooms. And, to my data person, Roberta, I said, Roberta, reach out to STAR. I think they've lost their minds. I know we don't have 738 new rooms. I'm keenly aware of what's going on in terms of hotel rooms, and, there's not a new property that opened that delivered us 738 rooms. I think we have about 800 under construction, so where did this number come from? I'd like to say everybody's perfect, but we're not. So again, our data there is based on our calls and interactions with our industry partners that you see on this slide.
Chair, thank you. And Tam, are those your calls to hotels? So Jay, as you know, Bubble Life, a lot of properties don't participate in STAR. So that's another kind of, not a glitch, but we do the best that we can to find out what those
Correct.
properties are, but many don't subscribe to STAR.
I was actually really impressed when you look at the number of properties that are going to STAR compared to other counties.
Yes.
That we're one of the highest.
Well, right now,
today.
Because primarily we have our inland properties open, which are primarily flagged, and their corporate relationship with STAR, that wasn't as good, of course, when we had, the island mom and pops. And when I say that, I mean independents, obviously.
Absolutely, but
So, yeah,
when you look at it, it's almost 70%.
yeah, no, it's a good number.
participating, and you look at other counties, some of them are below 50.
And now that you're looking at that sheet and everybody's looking at it, I will also point out how well the Caribbean is doing.
How what?
The Caribbean is doing,
I was leaving that for Bill to.
I know, but that, when you're wondering where our business went, some of it went there for sure.
They're just rebounding from COVID.
And they are,
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna say
correct.
that, yeah, pent
But-
up demand, so.
Both, right, in a combination, and I'm following some of my colleagues around the state, and they've definitely benefited from our situation. But at the end of the day, I was really pleased with that August report. So we'll see what September says. I'm hoping that September doesn't reflect that 738 new rooms that they showed on the weekly report. Hopefully that'll be corrected, because if it does, then occupancy is going to be falling like a rock, of course. That's about a 10% increase in room availability. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. In terms of traffic at the airport, passenger count for July, 670, almost 71,000. Just a smidge down over last July. That's fantastic news for our community. And August, similar, 601,500, down just 3.1%. So for the calendar year to date, 6.7 million people through the airport, down about 13%. So honestly, given the situation, those are really great, strong numbers, and I think we're doing really well. Now I am going to turn this over to the department directors to give you an update. And first, we will ask Ray Saraceno to give you a communications update.
Sorry, time is money. I'll hurry. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ray Saraceno. I'm glad to see you. I'm with the communications team. I'm here to tell you about what we've been up to for talking to the world's media and the community's media about our destination. So if you look to the guy on the left, his name is Bjorn Moholt, and he is Norwegian. He writes for a number of large Norwegian publications, and he's based in Italy. So we took him around. He was here in August. Took him around to a number of local businesses and attractions. And by far, when he got to the farmers market, he was a rock star. They absolutely loved him. That's Mary McCoy, who is a long-term, over 50-year employee of the farmers market, and is just a delight to meet, deal with, and talk to. And they hit it off really well. And I'm really looking forward to see what he has to say about us, and we'll get the Google Translate out and make sure that we get that to you. So that was August, and September we had another successful partnership with Visit Florida, where we brought a group from the UK who came. They were all travel writers, a number of them from some of the larger publications there. They wanted to do a beach cleanup. It was an opportunity to talk about some of the ways people can help. So not quite a volunteerism, but Visit Florida very kindly added us to the itinerary, and we're very grateful for that. So I'm, again, looking forward to that coverage. They had a really great time. And lastly, I have the Toronto Star up there. We had Dave Pollard covering, and thanks, Miriam, good work on it, who showed him around. Dave Pollard from the Toronto Star, which is one of the larger publications in Canada. We appreciate him coming down, and again, he's writing about Island Hopper. We also had Cindy Watts, who is a freelancer, publicist and writer, and she was in town covering Island Hopper as well. So that went really well. One thing I want to point out about Bjorn was he was here during Hurricane Idalia. So we gave him the option, you're welcome to bug out, man. We didn't want to make anybody stay, but he rolled the dice and stayed, and he had a ringside seat to Hurricane Idalia over the Caloosahatchee from where he was staying at the Luminary. So we appreciate your hospitality, and it was a highlight for him. Not one of the better days weather-wise, but we appreciate it.
Awesome. Real quick, before we
Yes, sir.
forward, I have a question for Tim. I noticed the Visit Florida event there or effort there. Do we work with them pretty much monthly on some sort of project or another, or how often do we team up with them?
Frequently. I don't know if I would say monthly. I mean, sometimes it's multiple times in a month. They're a constant partner for us. And I think think of it this way. You have your cities, you have your counties, and then you have your state. And then we also work with Brand USA, who promotes the entire U.S. The nice thing about this is this press trip not only visited our area, but it visited other areas of Florida. And so this gives people the opportunity to talk about, some of that fly drive, aspect of visiting Florida. Some people want a multi-destination type vacation. And so, I'll use me as an example. I want to explore the Oregon coast. I'm going to hit 3 or 4 different cities. And I think, this is a great example of that. But we're in constant partnership with them.
One idea I had as we were listening to this, obviously, we're gearing up for the legislative session at the county. I know the cities are as well. We're talking about our legislative agenda as well. I know we all always get together every year when Visit Florida comes under its annual attack. We all come together and say, hey, we support Visit Florida. We think it's great. But it seems like the only time we're ever talking with folks in our delegation about Visit Florida is when we're trying to save it. You know, I wonder if there's more proactive communication, if we could come up with maybe a template for a monthly report of, you know, here's what we did with Visit Florida in your community where you serve the constituents. And so, I mean, this could be something that we could put on there this month. Hey, we had this trip with Visit Florida, or this press trip with Visit Florida. And then on top of that, maybe throw in some stats of they drove this much traffic to our website and sent this many eyes to us too. And it's just a friendly, proactive, like, report that the chairman of the TDC, because I actually, the chairman of the TDC could send to the legislative delegation here locally. I do actually try to stay in touch with the legislative delegation and send them along little hurricane updates, or as I get something that I think they might be interested in knowing in, just kind of proactively, positively touch them with, hey, this is something that's happening, and it really helped us out. So that, you know, when we do get up there and we start to talk during session, you can remember all those things I sent you throughout the year. It really was a positive for us. So I think it'd be cool to maybe get together and talk about a template for a little report we could maybe frequently send them about the positive interactions we have there.
Absolutely. And in fact, just to add a little bit to that, head of Visit Florida, Dana Young, is going to be here next, October 25th. To speak at the Sanibel Captiva Chamber of Commerce luncheon. And I think that they are, John Lai mentioned to me, they're working on kind of a Lee County-wide tour so that she can see the areas impacted. And I think she's going to bring some members of the legislative delegation along on that tour. So Commissioner, you know, hopefully, you know, maybe there's an opportunity for you to join in on that, I hope.
I'll look at that, absolutely.
But I believe that, you know, it as you say, one time a year, that's not a very effective way to show what you do. If this group only met once a year, how could we possibly quantify all the things that happen within 1 year in one meeting? So I agree. I think, you know, something we can look into. And maybe it's quarterly. I mean, we need to figure out what makes sense, but yeah, I agree.
Just more frequency, you know, because I know they have so much on their plate, being either a representative or a senator for the state of Florida, the third largest state in the union. I mean, obviously you have so many issues that come across your plate. So I don't blame them for not being keenly aware of everything that happens at the TDC meeting, right? But if we could just come up with something that's easily digestible, that we could send them a friendly, proactive touch, then at least they'll have that knowledge, you know, when they go up there and have these discussions and things like that. Council?
Yeah, I was just going to follow up on what Tam was talking about. It's October 25th. There's going to be a roundtable as well.
Good.
And then there's going to be a tour. And maybe beforehand, I'm going to kind of summarize in my comments some of our chamber's updates for today. But Brian, I'm sure you'll want to be a part of that, and maybe we can do something forward before this meeting just to get to Dana. She is keenly tuned in to our region, and it's going to be a balance of how we market, when we market, and what areas we market. So I think what you're talking about of how we can help her be really, you know, on the offense and not on the defense is really important, and I'm sure she'll appreciate that as well.
And you know, as an aside, Dana and her family have a place on Boca Grande. They have a very positive relationship with our community. It's a big part of their vacation. You spend a lot of time on Usepa Island. I mean, you know, she knows Lee County, she knows our area, and that's a huge benefit to us, of course, with her being in that role. So.
The partnership with Visit Florida goes even further than DC. You have businesses that are actually, you know, working with Visit Florida directly too.
Maybe we could solicit that from a lot of our businesses that we work with too. They could just, you know, I'm talking.
Maybe we could just put together a list of who the Visit Florida members are in the area.
Right.
You know, and maybe that's a good segue to say, we need them to be vocal with their legislators about the benefits to them, not just on Tourism Day in Tallahassee, which sometimes is effective and sometimes is not, as we all know, you know, but more frequently throughout the year. And, you know, maybe there's, you know, maybe we need to have one of our representatives of the TDC at the delegation meeting when they do that to show these are the benefits we're getting and things like that. So I agree. I think a more proactive approach could be very effective.
I love, look, we're all tuned into social media feeds these days where you get these just quick blurbs of, hey, this happened, hey, this happened, hey, this, and honestly, if our member businesses or businesses who interact with the VCB regularly sent just a quick blurb, hey, Visit Florida did this for me, we could be almost like the repository that would collect all of that, and then you could throw that in the report too. So the template could look like, here's some big event that we did with Visit Florida, here's some stats about what they drove here, and then here's a couple just quick snippets from local businesses as well as what they say. And it's just a friendly email, and you just, send it out, and just wanted to keep you up to date on what's happening. I think that'd be a neat report anyways. I'd love to see that. So.
Not to, to kind of overdo Visit Florida, but they've become very vital partners, statewide as well as for our international media, because a lot of times it's a quick hit. And, I just want to shout out to all the partners we deal with here, because sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's days, sometimes, they give us a little more time. But one of the critical things with Visit Florida is, we have direct flights coming from the UK, for example, which is a market we're working very hard to have coverage from, into Tampa. So it's like Tam said, part of the fly drive thing, but how we are able to sort of siphon some of that experience from people, bring them down here. Visit Florida has been instrumental in helping with that. We've discussed it with them. They know what we're looking for, and they've really delivered on that. So, and the pipeline will continue. Part of it is I'll make sure when I'm talking to partners to say, hey, this is a Visit Florida itinerary. The England trip, that was all Visit Florida. They were very, it was a very successful visit, and the coverage, we assume and can feel fairly confident that the coverage is going to be good. But a lot of that had to do, they went to a number of different places. They were out at Tarpon Lodge. Rob's not here, but out to Cabbage Key. I mean, we try to do what we can, especially when, we had 2 days with them, essentially. And we just, you got to ramrod. You got to do as much as you can in as short a time as you can without wearing them out and making it miserable for them. But they've been extremely helpful and absolutely instrumental in ensuring we get on as many of their itineraries as possible. So big help,
Well,
And I don't want to interrupt Ray's presentation, but I just want to add, Bill has been a Visit Florida board member. Jay, you've been a visit. No, you're not. Okay, I'm sorry. But FRLA. But we have staff. I mean, people in our community. But absolutely, I mean, it should be. John Lai is in line to be president. Tony has been president of the Visit Florida board. I mean, our community is very engaged with this. Our tourism community here locally is very engaged. So, it's very important to us. Ray, we'll get back to you though, sir. Sorry for the.
All right, no worries. So, we've done that. Talked about Island Hopper. Had some good news. Coverage has actually been pretty consistently good, considering people have been very respectful of the situation on the ground here. Yet, we're still making headway here. So. Part of the good news is Condé Nast had a Reader's Choice Awards for 2023, Sanibel Island, Florida, top island, so coming in at number 6, so a big deal, very big deal. In April, we actually hosted, and you've heard about that, but we hosted a large group from the UK that we brought over through our contractor in London, and they have just been delivering great stuff. Finally, Mark Porter from the Daily Mail, which of course is one of the largest publications in the world, most read, did a really beautiful piece about finding Florida's refined side. And the refined side he talked about was us, because they just came here. So appreciate that. And of course, BMI has been doing great coverage for Island Hopper. So nice stuff, a lot of good results. And speaking of Island Hopper, we had great opportunity. Aside from hosting the Toronto Sun and the freelancer who was here, her name is Cindy Watts, and she's producing an article for People magazine. So she talked to a number of partners, and we're really looking forward to see what that commission develops into. And as you can see from the highlighted numbers, which were a little small there, so I will read them to you. Island Hopper generated 146 articles, and of those 146 articles, more than 1.4 billion unique views based on that. So really great coverage. And again, a lot of it's organic. If you look, you see Jackie Parker up on the left doing a morning show with ABC7. And if you look on the lower right, that's Miriam Dotson, who's with us today, also doing another morning show with ABC7 before Island Hopper. So just great response locally and nationally, and of course internationally as well. Also, coverage, as we know, it was a little subdued on the 28th of September. It wasn't, luckily, it wasn't terribly dramatic. We had a lot of national, international coverage, which is what I was focusing on. But we also managed to make sure that reporters and writers were able to talk to some of the partners. If you look, that's Dan Hamilton from Nautical Tiki Cruises. These are all businesses that feed into our ecosystem that I want to make sure that we give them the opportunity to tell their story if they're interested. So we work hard to try to connect businesses with reporters. And as far as impressions go, again, all things considered, it's been very, very positive. August was a minor dip, and then September, Island Hopper really pushed us over the top. So our quarterly total of impressions is 4,299,486,004. I don't know who the four are, but I appreciate them being on there. So, and that brings us an annual total. Again, bearing in mind, this is tourism-related coverage, so. Not including the storm coverage, we're looking at 5,692,850,400 for the year, which are just great numbers. Just very happy with that, and we feel like by the pushing we're doing is resulting in getting us good coverage for the destination and the community. And I might add realistic coverage. I mean, none of this is we're not pie in the sky, but it's realistic coverage. There's people involved. And I think it's a genuine, optimistic, and caring view that a lot of the journalists who've come through have had. So, we've tried to explain the situation we're in and do it in a way that allows them to tell our story from the perspective of our business partners. So, and we aren't only dealing with media. Which is our monthly podcast, What to Do, a weekly product, industry partner newsletter, monthly, and we also put together Industry Partner Spotlight, which is this month. It's kind of a fun view. Edison Ford very graciously let us talk to their automotive curator, so he took us on a kind of behind-the-scenes tour of their autos, and it's very, very cool. He's standing in front of a Cadillac, which isn't necessarily part of the Edison Ford ecosystem there, but very, very neat tour. It's just a couple minutes long, and if you're interested, you can click on the Partner Spotlight QR code or find us on YouTube at the Visit Florida channel. And coming up, we have Michael Myers coming at the end of the month, not the slasher flick Michael Myers, but a different Michael Myers, who's a travel journalist who will be in town to hopefully not write about slasher flicks, but we'll show him around and make sure that he has a good overview of that. We have a Visit Florida, speaking of Visit Florida, a media mission with our Canadian reps who will be in Toronto for the Visit Florida media mission up there, representing us, Lee County. Then we also have on the 26th Discover America Media Day in Toronto. So both of those are going on same day in Toronto. For November, we are hosting at Tarpon Lodge Georgia Outdoor Writers Association Conference. It's a small group, but these are the major editors. And what I like about it is we have print, we have television, and we have a podcaster with them. So we're going to be showing them around, and we're glad to add they're going to spend a few days on the water, but we're also going to have a downtown Fort Myers day. So they're going to see some of the destination down here and hopefully write about that, the recovery, and other things to do in the community. Lastly, December, we have two big FAMs coming. 4th through 7th is a NJF, which is our New York-based contractor. It's domestic on the water FAM tour to write about that. And then 9 through 14 December, we have a German travel journalist FAM, which is through our German contractor, and we're looking forward to hosting that. And that's a good opportunity to sort of get a jump on next year's potential visitors in that destination, so in our destination. So, pending any questions, That's my report. Yes, sir.
The water tour, I'm kind of curious, how does that work? I mean, where do you go? You put them on boats and just drive around or what?
That's precisely what we do. A little more involved. What we're trying to do is basically create a itinerary, and we're in the process of creating the itinerary, where someone who would come to the area, it may not be someone coming to the area, a reader may not be doing solely water, but what we want to have is about 5 or 6 different water-based experiences. So they're going to do a jet ski tour. We're trying to get them on a kayak tour. It's a very, very tight itinerary, but we're going to try to get them out there on the water. And what we try to do is, of course, have as many different areas of the destination, from Bonita up to Pine Island, over to the outer islands. So, there's the standards, naturally dolphin tours. You never go wrong with that. Even the most hard-bitten journalists walk away from that with a big smile on their face, and it's always a win for us. So.
Most of us are here because of the water, right? I mean, it's the draw. It's certainly the draw.
That's something we are, pressing hard on. So.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. Now I'd like to invite Jill Vance up. She and Charm will be giving the sales reports from domestic and international perspectives. So.
Good morning, Council. I'm Jill Vance, Director of Sales, and here are the year-end results for this past fiscal year's sales goals. And as you can see, we have attained all 6 of our goals, but I do want to highlight that the number of RFPs that we've sent to our hotel partners are only 2% less than the record set last year, despite Hurricane Ian. I do believe that part of this is because of the strong relationships that our VCB and hotel sales teams have built with our meeting planners. Group media, here's just one example from last quarter. For our weddings media, we have launched a branded sub-channel with Bridal Guide. So what a sub-channel is basically a landing page on Bridal Guide's website. And on this landing page, we had 6 custom content articles about weddings in our destination. Our sub-channel ran from July through September, and although we don't have the final statistics yet, so far the click-through rate on these articles is already 20% higher than the benchmark. Also on our Bridal Guide sub-channel, we launched a digital slideshow, which is a gallery of images with related content, almost like a photo editorial of weddings in our destination. And we're really looking forward to the final results of this entire media buy with Bridal Guide. Here are some of the group sales team's activities for last quarter. In July, we had the pleasure of being the host destination for the Florida Society of Association Executives annual conference. The Hyatt Regency Coconut Point Resort was the conference host hotel, and the Luminary hosted their welcome reception. And when we host conferences like this, not only is it a great opportunity to showcase the destination and generate revenue for our area businesses, but these events help our community because they often include a community project in their agenda. For instance, FSAE raised over $2,000 for Crow on Sanibel that included 6 sponsored adoptions of injured animals. And here are some more meeting planner shows we attended. On the top is Aaron with some of our hotel partners at the Destination Southeast show, of which we were also the host destination. And the Westin Cape Coral Resort was the conference host hotel. This was a 2-day hosted by our show with over 200 attendees. And according to the show organizers, this was their highest attendance to date. Also, Aaron conducted a post-FAM tour for select meeting planners, and I just want to give a big thank you to all of our partners who participated in that. Some travel trade activities for last quarter. Here's Jennifer with Donnie from the Pink Shell and Susan from the Westin Cape Coral on the West Coast Florida Travel Agency sales mission. The travel advisors showed a lot of interest in upscale resort options. Also, they asked a lot about volunteer opportunities and, of course, the recovery status of our islands. So it was great to have Donnie from the Pink Shell there who could speak firsthand on this. Some upcoming activities for the domestic sales team. For October, I just want to highlight one. Next week, we'll be attending the IMEX America show in Las Vegas. This show is the largest hosted buyer show in North America and attracts over 4,300 qualified meeting planners. Thankfully, we are in the Visit Florida booth, whose location is front and center upon entrance to the exhibit hall. And this great location not only generates a lot of walk-up business, but it also enables our marketing team's geofencing efforts to be even more effective. And in November, Candace will be attending the National Tour Association Travel Exchange. Travel Exchange is NTA's annual signature event with over 500 attendees. And this 2-day hosted buyer reverse trade show includes one-on-one appointments, education sessions, and lots of networking opportunities. The location this year is in the Southeast in Louisiana, so we hope to meet with many of our tour operators from our top feeder markets. And finally, for December, Betsy will be attending the American Express Interaction Show. About 500 third-party meeting planners will be in attendance. This 3-day show includes one-on-one appointments, an expo, and networking events. And here's a fun fact. American Express meeting planners are responsible for over 60,000 meetings globally every year. Last but not least, we have some bittersweet news that our wonderful Jerry Terp will be retiring at the end of the month. Jerry has worked for the VCB for over 14 years as our Midwest sales representative. Since 2009, he has sent over 2,000 RFPs with almost 841,000 room nights to our hotel partners. And from those RFPs, our hotel partners booked over 114,000 group room nights. We want to thank Jerry for all of his hard work, and he will be missed by many. However, I am thrilled to welcome Lauren Hypes as our new National Sales Manager for the Midwest. Lauren is a seasoned professional with 15 years of CVB sales experience and 9 years of hotel sales experience. Lauren is headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so she's not here with us today, but we are looking forward to all of the new business that she'll be bringing to our destination. And I believe there's an introduction press release at each one of your place sittings there about Lauren for you to refer to. Are there any questions before I turn it over to Charm, who will update you on our international activities? Yes.
What's a third-party meeting planner?
So it's a individual who reaches out to businesses or associations and says, I will book your meeting for you, I'll handle everything, and I'll just get a commission from the hotel. So it's no charge to the client, but they charge the hotel typically 10% on the room nights, and that's how they're paid. But they handle everything for the clients, so they're very popular. Yep. Any other questions? Thanks.
Welcome, Charm Evans.
Good morning. Charm Evans, VCB Global Sales Manager, reporting on the international sales activities for the period of July through September. As many of the Florida destinations are experiencing soft international visitation numbers, mainly due to the strong U.S. dollar and, of course, the hurricane's impact on our region, it's more important than ever that we ensure that we remain visible in our core markets. As such, we are continuously engaging with the consumers and travel trade through our marketing campaigns, co-ops, and social media activities. In addition to this, we are participating in quite a few travel trade activities this quarter, such as the Brand USA 4th of July event in Frankfurt, where the team networked with key tour operators, product and marketing managers, as well as journalists. There were a total of 200 attendees at this event. In August, we also hosted a travel agent dinner event in Denmark and in Sweden. These smaller events provide a more intimate setting where we're able to engage and educate these attendees on the current status of the region. The dinners concluded with a destination-themed quiz where the winners received branded merchandise. Also, our Canadian team attended the Air Canada Vacations Showcase in Montreal and Halifax, providing destination presentations to over 500 travel advisors in September. Finally, we welcomed the Scandinavian travel agency Ticket to the area in late August through the first week of September for a FAM. Ticket is the leading travel agency chain in Sweden, and United Airlines also participated and sponsored the flights. The agents were hosted at the Westin Cape Coral Resort, and they experienced various activities, including hotel site visits, kayaking, shopping, touring downtown Fort Myers, and also a cruise at Cabbage Key. We are so appreciative of the partnerships that we have with all of you that allow us to host these travel trade partners and showcase the destination. Looking ahead, during the coming months, we will attend the following events, including the Visit USA UK Roadshow that just occurred in London and Glasgow, as well as Brand USA Travel Week and CEO Summit in London, where we will be attending and participating in one-on-one appointments with the tour operators and buyers of travel and travel promotions. This event is an annual one that brings together key players of the US, UK, and European markets to network, discuss trends and challenges, and opportunities that will stimulate future visitation to the US from the UK and Europe. Also, we are looking forward to hosting the Visit Florida Canadian Familiarization Group of Travel Advisors in November, and this is a partnership with Visit Florida, as well as our Naples and St. Pete Clearwater DMO partners. That concludes my report. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Charm. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Simone to give us our visitor services update.
Great. Good morning, Council. Simone Baer, Director of Visitor Services. Happy to be here with you this morning to report on the Visitor Services update. For the fourth quarter, which is July through to September, our volunteers assisted 51,794 visitors during that time period. They worked 5,132 hours at a value of $163,197. They also assisted at 5 different projects and conferences. The top requests for that time period in terms of accommodations are all in the airport area. It's the Drury Inn, the Hilton Garden Inn, and the Holiday Inn Express. The top attractions, aside from the beaches, was the Edison Home, Ding Darling, and Sunsplash. Top activities was hiking, shopping, and festivals. We also helped at various conferences taking place at the Hyatt Regency, Sandoval Harbor Marriott, and the Calusa Sound. Our volunteers assisted at the FitMix Fitness Festival downtown Fort Myers, and we rolled out Project Cookie again at RSW. In August, we were able to host the 23rd annual E-Awards at the Westin Cape Coral, where we honored 590 nominees. Many were also included in the Hurricane Hero category, and so many of you were there, so thank you for your support at the E-Awards. September 19th, we celebrated International Talk Like a Pirate Day at RSW, which we've been doing for a number of years. It started off small with just one volunteer dressing up as a pirate. It has grown over the years. We now have a few volunteers as well as staff members dressing up, and we think it's just really a special moment for people arriving that day at RSW to be greeted in such a fun and festive way. For Island Hopper, we greeted the songwriters as they were arriving at RSW, and we also helped throughout the festival. Looking ahead, we have a very, very busy fall. Our volunteers will be attending various destination education training sessions. 2 actually already took place this week. They went with Captiva Cruises to Cabbage Key and the Drury Inn yesterday. They're visiting the Naples Botanical Gardens, Hickey Creek Park, Pagefield Airport, 6 Mile Cypress Slough, Barberby Man, Ping Shell, Echo Global Farm, and Tarpon Lodge and Randall Research Center. Big thank yous to our partners who are hosting our volunteers. We have a few new volunteers that are currently in training, and we do look forward to welcoming many new flights coming into RSW with Breeze Airlines, Frontier, Spirit Airlines, JetBlue, Lynx, and Porter. And that's it for me. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. All right.
It's a shame the meeting didn't fall on Talk Like a Pirate Day. Otherwise, we would have
could
had a really...
We could R our way through it.
All right, does that conclude your report?
That concludes my report, sir. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Well, I'll stay with you for any for-council information.
You know, I always put some things in your packet to make keep you informed of trends that we're seeing out there. So there are a few reading for you if you're interested, but nothing that I'm going to call out today. Just some good articles and such.
Excellent. Well, let's go around the table with some TDC member items. We'll start with Mr. Follick. Any items for today?
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question for Tim that came up. It's obviously something that's disturbing, but we've got a war now in Gaza, and I heard on the news yesterday they called up 565,000 reservists. So I'm not sure what the numbers are out of Israel, but it's obviously going to have an effect on us in the fourth quarter, and I'm wondering how we determine what that's going to be.
Good question.
I don't know that we can determine what that's going to be, but I think we all know that, you know, anytime there is something like that going on, it's going to impact international travel, certainly.
Maybe reach out to our hoteliers and ask if they're seeing cancellations.
Yeah, and maybe they could comment here.
Well, you know, it's obviously a horrible situation, but you're going to see travelers stay either domestically, which, you know, will be a plus for Florida, and then you'll see international travelers be wary of going to that area where they see United States as a safe haven to go to. So I don't know that it's going to affect us.
I think it'll be an offset.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be an issue for us. But it's just a horrible situation, though.
Good question. Sure.
Yeah, and we've seen also, you know, with Ukraine, I don't think that we saw, you know, those are two just devastating wars that we're witnessing right now before our eyes. But with Ukraine, I don't think that we saw a significant drop in anything. So those two combined, you know, travel is going to continue. People are going to still try to get the relief that they're looking for, and they're just going to be choosing carefully where they go.
The number of businesses and the number of individuals that own companies that have business interests here far greater in Israel than it is in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something I think we should be aware of.
And, you know, we could, I'll talk to the team, but we could add something to our next quarterly survey to say, if you know, have you seen any impact of cancellations, and what does that look like, you know, in your, does that impact your look ahead? So we could add a couple of questions to our occupancy survey to see what they're seeing.
Fuel prices will be the big squirrely thing that potentially affects travel.
And any changes to air service, right, as a result.
On a positive note, out of Benita Springs, we have our 24th annual Veterans Day event coming up. Falls on a Saturday, which is great. Would encourage anybody who would like to come. It's a very uplifting ceremony, and I really want to give a shout out to our Downtown Business Alliance folks. I don't see here in the room today, but normally we have our Halloween event. We still will. The city puts it on 6 days before Halloween. This year, the downtown businesses are going to do a live event on Halloween night so that families will have a place to go with their kids on Halloween, dress up. It's actually going to be on Old 41, very safe. And if you've got kids, come down and take advantage of Benita Springs Business Largesse and have dinner with your kids.
That'd be cool.
That's all I've got.
Very good. Well, thank you for that report. Mayor Hours?
I think Jason and Jeff covered most of what I was going to cover, but just one thing they missed. We will be having fireworks again this year. We had a very generous donation from an island resident that wanted to see the fireworks back. So we're just working out the logistics with the Coast Guard for the barge service. So, but they will be back this year, so we're excited about that. Hopefully that'll fill up some hotel rooms. And then one thing I wanted to kind of piggyback, I think I'll take your idea, Holly, a little step further with the short-term rental vacation things. I'll talk to staff to see if it's possible when they renew their license, if they're willing to participate in giving data back to the town and what they see. Maybe that'll help bring those numbers back or get them a little closer to help with your report. You know, be a voluntary thing if they want to do it or they don't want to do it. But I've talked to several that are willing to do it, so maybe that'll help some of the reporting.
Sure. We would welcome that opportunity, connect them with our data collection company and let that happen organically, however you want to do it, yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Johnson.
Well, tonight, the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association is hosting at Shangri-La our taco cook-off that's going to pit the high schools of Lee County versus the high school programs in Collier County. So we're looking forward to that. We have 5 participating high schools from Lee, and I believe it's 3 from Collier, and then Fort Myers Tech will be providing desserts. So that's a fun event kicking off at 5 o'clock today at Shangri-La. There's still tickets available if you want to come down, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Taco Thursday, guys.
Tacos.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Mr. Rodriguez?
As mentioned by Jay earlier, the Condé Nast came out with their Reader's Choice Awards, Sanibel being recognized, which was fantastic. We had 2 hotels in the area also. Brian at the Hyatt and Pink Shell. I will go on record that I did lose to him by 0.2 of a point. And I was only 50% operational, so this year will be a whole nother story. So.
You're coming after him?
Oh, yeah.
I love the competitive spirit. That's awesome.
Scared him away today.
Ms. Myers?
Only probably the thing that's happened in my life is I sold the Red Coconut RV Resort, historic.
What?
Anybody heard that?
Oh. And I didn't call you first, I'm sorry. And it's been a real change, but I will tell you the company that is moving forward, they're just a quality company and family oriented, and that's the only reason that I chose them, because of their family local business. So other than that, I'm still a partner there, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, we're grateful for your work and dedication over the years, and, obviously Hurricane Ian dealt all of us, a blow and put us in situations to make decisions that were unimaginable, so thank you. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Councilman Steinke.
Thank you. Just come out to the Cape for our trunk or treat event. It was extremely successful, bringing all the kids and their families to City Hall. Our huge pumpkins already on the lawn there as we begin to promote that. And our Veterans Day Parade is always a hit, so we hope to have as many people come out as we could.
Excellent. Councilwoman Smith.
Yes, Bill, congratulations on that award. So you said it before I did, so congratulations, and congratulations to Brian as well. Those are the Florida favorite resorts, so for you to be in the top 15 says a lot to what you do for our community, so appreciate that. I want to say, we are in the presence of greatness. Tony Lappy, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award, Hall of Fame for Visit Florida. Many of us went to the governor's conference, and it was really an honor to listen and watch everything that you have done. It's not just local, it's throughout the state of Florida, and I would say even further reach. So thank you very much for all you've done for so many decades to this community, and you've really helped others to be able to do what they do. So really appreciate that. Also want to congratulate the VCB for getting the Henry Award for direct marketing on their Good Day Welcome Series. We all remember those. They were a lot of fun. It's a good day, and you were well recognized, and to get that top award was really also, thank you to you and your staff for everything that you do to make sure that we're promoted. We appreciate that. Island Hopper, it was great. It was really, I was only able, unfortunately, to get to Captiva because of the week that was for all of us, but I think it was well received. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Board of County Commission for the Free Toll Sundays, and also to the Collaboratory and Community Foundation of the Islands. Being able to have those Free Toll Sundays for us, we realized there was a loss, but it was a much greater gain for those businesses that really needed that work. So it was a small loss to me for the city of Sanibel, and I think to the county. Our businesses had greater losses. So we appreciate that, got to celebrate. It was a lot of fun with Island Hopper, and enjoy that every single year. We got past day 365. We made it through Hurricane Ian. What we had on the city of Sanibel, we had a very quiet, reflective ceremony. We had a sunrise ceremony. A lot of people held things emotionally in different ways. I then ventured over to Fort Myers Beach to support the beach as well. And I think that was a turning point for all of us. We needed to get past those 365 days. So now we can start on what our rebirth, rebuild for not only our areas that were severely affected, but also to just recognize and appreciate all of the areas of tourism that we have in Southwest Florida. So thank you all for your commitments to us and celebrating with us or reflecting with us. So glad to have that. In our rearview mirror, because now we really need to look forward as to our rebirth. I wanted to bring attention on your desks is we have our Industry Appreciation Awards. I'm the president of the Horizon Foundation this year, and these awards are recognizing all different industries that we have in Lee County. Please, if you can attend, do attend. The TDC members are certainly welcome to attend. Come and celebrate what we are, who we are, and how we grow in Southwest Florida for all of our industries, be it small, large, nonprofit, many different segments. We have 6 different awards that we'll be celebrating. It's a great day. It is every year, and I encourage you to take part in that to understand a little bit more about Horizon Foundation and the Horizon Council, which is an advisory committee to the BOCC. So, Brian, I know you'll be there as well. And last, I'll be traveling. My first trip to DC is next week for the first full week. I am doing state of Florida business, I'm doing federal business, I'm doing city business, and in that as well, this will, some of the areas that we have been covering will be covered. Beach renourishment, local grant opportunities, trying to streamline those. We all have the ability for different grants, and what we're trying to do is say, how can we do that better? How can we do that faster? How can we get some of this red tape out of the way when we really need to? Beach renourishment for the Structured Army Corps beaches, we're looking at additional ways to help facilitate that and expedite that. And then also the big CBDG talk, we'll be going and having that discussion as well. So I will report back if you'd like me to. We don't know what's going to happen in DC. Basically, there's no speaker right now. We have the conflict in Israel. We have the other conflicts. So we have meetings set up. We'll see how many of those take place and what the temperature is when we get there. It's always complicated. No matter when you go there, there's always something going on. And then last, although this is not really local, it is local. Doc Ford's in St. Pete was awarded the #1 restaurant. The Fort Myers Beach had that same award back in 2021, and that business stemmed on Sanibel Island. We should be very proud of that. It shows what we can do, again, not just locally, but what we do throughout the state of Florida and how that grows, but it all comes back to us, and I can guarantee you, those people that go to the St. Pete Pier, they're asking about Sanibel, and that's going to draw them to Sanibel. One last thing, and I'm sorry, John Lai was not able to be here today. I did just want to give a really brief update on Sanibel post-Ian. I'll go quickly. Pre-Ian, we have about 7,500 restaurants, up to 40,000 people on island in season, approximately 2,600 short-term lodging rentals, over 500 businesses, about 541. On our visitor center, we average about 219 people coming into that visitor center per day. And on pace, pre-Ian was going to be a record year across the board. Post-Ian, although these numbers are lower, don't be depressed because we know they're going to go up. Right now, we have about 1,000 people living on Sanibel. That's based on the post office calculations. We did have about 207 short-term lodging units. Again, we don't have the full numbers with what the vacation rentals have. I'm going to tell you they're upped a little bit because the Sanibel Beach Resort did open, and they have a little under 100 that are available for rent. We are estimating at this point about 25% of our 2,600 short-term rentals will be up by season 2025. Hopefully, we'd like to expedite that, and we're going to celebrate every win, but we want to be realistic on our growth. You saw our numbers at just about 5%. Ours is a little bit different because we don't have the number of resorts. We have the condominiums, which are closed along the beach, and hoping to get some of those up and running. Some of the challenges that we have for the chamber, and I'm sure that you all are aware of this, lodging inventory, and that's based on FEMA, insurance, associations, and planning for those that are going to be rebuilt. Public perception of what we are. What we have and what we are, we want to make sure that we manage guest expectations as they're coming to visit our island, and also let them realize that our island is affected in a different way than all of Lee County. So we continue to make sure that we're promoting all of Lee County that does not have the restrictions that we do and may have for quite some time, and also making sure that our sister island on Captiva, which has more resorts open, we're making sure that we're sending that voice as well to come and enjoy. Getting our business needs met. As you know, our business climate, until we get our vacation rentals up, our business climate is questionable, and we're working towards how to have an actual economic outlook, working on destination marketing. Funding is going to be very difficult. There's going to be more to come. Our chambers are our first line of understanding our local outlook to the world. Lee County is bigger, but we do have significant funding concerns that we'll be looking to address. We can't lose our chambers. With that, again, thank you for letting me take this time. John would have presented, but he wasn't able to be here. And with that, I close.
Thank you so much. Councilman Faisal.
It's difficult on the agenda to follow Holly.
I'll go the other way next time.
Trying to catch my breath and catch up here. I have a shorter report. Estero, we too are having a Veterans Celebration on Saturday, November the 11th at the park there off of Corkscrew Road. Lindsey Graham, who's a nationally known singer, will be our entertainment for the day. We have... pardon me?
Does he sing?
No, not Congressman.
Okay.
She's a young lady. She lives in Estero. We have a vintage American-made car show that we expect to have about 50 cars on display, which is always kind of a nice thing. And we will be serving hot dogs free of charge to anyone who shows up. The event will be free to all attendees. So we're looking forward to that. I too would like to thank and congratulate Tony on his award. I'm a little disappointed though. When Brian got his award, we had a video of him and he was doing a bust a move and dancing.
Tony didn't dance?
Not have one with did I miss that, or do we just not have one?
There is a video. We share. We share the video. We posted it, I know. So.
It's actually on the partner newsletter. Last month's partner newsletter. You know, it's right at the top. Click on it, and it'll take you straight to the video.
Good.
Check that out.
I didn't want to miss out on that.
Good. Yeah,
that's all I have.
He told me I was embarrassing him a little bit with this.
Well, let's go to Mr. Laffey, our guest of honor here.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody's flown lately, but I know our airport numbers are down, then I can't see you behind the post. Sometimes it's better that way. But, you know, I wonder, the flights coming in, how full are they? I mean, and I got to congratulate our airport, too. I flew into SeaTac, Seattle Airport. It was a zoo. I mean, absolute zoo compared to our airport. It's amazing. So it'd be interesting. Every flight I was on, and when I was in Seattle and planes were taking off, they said, oh, we're 100% full. We're 100% full. I wonder how our planes coming in are full or not. I was just curious if we keep track of that.
I just came in from Atlanta. We were full.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
Anybody flown on a flight that's got empty seats?
No.
No. Do we ever
Twice this month.
fly into Fort
Not my one.
Yes, Ben Siegel with the airport. Thank you, Council. Tony, thanks for the question. So our load factors have been extremely high. And our conversations with and when I say extremely high, probably you're saying, well, what does that mean? So I would say they're probably in the 85 to 90% range, which in the industry, they consider that full. It's, they overbook, and there's obviously cancellations and stuff. So when you're in the 85, 90% range, that is very, very high. The airlines, our conversations with them post Ian was, they made a lot of cuts, Southwest especially. And there was a little bit of regret after. They realized they probably cut more than they probably should have because the demand remained much higher than what they expected. And we told them that, but they have to make these decisions early, and then they can't change them, on a whim. So as much as they do regret some of the decisions that they made, we're really seeing a tremendous amount of seat capacity coming back with this season, so we're expecting quite a bit. And if I could, just real quickly, I'll update September numbers for you because they're fresh. I just actually got them this morning. September numbers will be up compared to last September. The hurricane obviously was right at the end of September, so it was not real impactful. I want to say it was maybe 10 or 12% up, but don't quote me on that. But for the fiscal year, our fiscal year ends September 30th, we ended up being down about 15% for the fiscal year, which was no surprise. We did make up a little bit of ground this summer. We were down in the 18 to 20% for a good part of the year, so we made up some of it.
And do you feel that they're going to put more lift on coming up?
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely, we're seeing it, and we're expecting to have a pretty challenging season just with the amount of aircraft and seat capacity coming in, just in terms of managing all of that activity on the airfield, and then obviously with the construction, it'll be a challenging year, and we're going to do our best to manage expectations for all of our guests and try to maintain that high level of service.
Ben, there's a lot of new service coming in the next few months. I know we had Carol on our industry call last month, and the report was a lot of new, not only new destinations but duplicate destinations, which shows you the demand out of some of those areas, and 2 new airlines out of Toronto. I mean, we're really, considering what's happened in this community, we are really well positioned with the flights.
Well, yeah, and I want to comment. The airport and the VCB, economic development, we all work very closely together. I mean, extremely close together. And I just want to, just say and compliment Tam and her team. I mean, what they're doing works. I mean, the data, we use the data that they put out there and that they're pushing. And when we're dealing with the airlines, we're utilizing a lot of that same data, and obviously the promotion of this community helps put people in those seats that want to come here. So, I mean, it works. I mean, what they're doing works, and it's a great collaboration that brings the people here. So,
yeah, Councilman.
A quick question. I noticed in the FDOT allocations that there's what appears to be quite a bit of expansion going to happen at the airport, almost $100 million that's coming that way. Could you give us a peek at what that's going to be?
Oh, sure. So we've got a number of projects in the pipeline, one that's currently underway. So you'll see some of that money is actually going to the project that's currently underway. We have a $330 million expansion that's underway, and that's a consolidation of our security checkpoints and an expansion of our food and beverage program at the airport. That project should be completed sometime in 2025. The next big project that we have a lot of funding coming from FDOT is Concourse E. We are under design. We're probably about 70% design right now. We just updated the Port Authority commissioners, who are obviously also the county commissioners, in that design effort. And that is estimated to be about an $800 million project, which will add approximately 14 gates. And it's almost like its own little mini terminal, even though it will have complete connectivity to the rest of the facility, but it'll have its own ticket, it's going to have ticket counters, its own inline baggage system, a very robust food and beverage and retail program, its own security checkpoint, but nonetheless, it will be completely connected to the rest of the facility, so no matter where you go and where you go through screening, you'll be able to access any concourse. So that's probably where you're seeing a lot of the funding. The next big project that we have that we are hope to have under design in March, starting in the spring, is a rental car project that will also bring it's a relocation of all of the service facilities for the rental cars, an expansion of their ready return facilities, but also as a result of that will provide us another deck in our parking garage, which we desperately need. So that is also in the works, and that's about a $300 million project. And let me just back up on Concourse E. We're hoping to bid that project in spring, this coming spring as well, and get that moving. So, all in all, we have it's about $1.5 billion worth of capital improvement that's in the pipeline, and with escalating costs, it wasn't always $1.5 billion, but with escalating costs and rising interest rates, it's a very, very challenging time for not just our airport, but airports around the world, and anybody that's obviously involved in developments and financing. It's a challenging time right now to try to get these things done.
I wanted to hug you, Councilman. I wish it was only $100 million. Wow, wouldn't that be great? But it's $1.5 billion, and it's very exciting. Ben, maybe you can get in touch with the chairman of the Port Authority. Ask him on my behalf. That's me, by the way, I'm joking. Could we schedule on a future TDC meeting, you and Tim could get together, maybe just block out maybe a few minutes to go through some of the renderings so they could take a look at some of the
I would love to do that.
Really pretty renderings of what this expansion is going to look like. That way we could get this council up to date on that.
I'd be happy to consult with the chairman of the Port Board and
Excellent. I'm sure he'll say yes.
Yeah.
He's a reasonable man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Nigel, you do have a question.
Quick question.
Yeah.
TSA, how are they doing as far as staffing?
So TSA is doing fine with staffing at this point. TSA is challenged with, they have some equipment issues. That's not just local, but nationally, they've been struggling with some supply chain issues and stuff, and we're feeling it a little bit here. But it's not, again, just unique to RSW, but from a staffing standpoint, we're doing okay. So.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm done.
All right, thanks for the report, Director Siegel.
Anyways, just one little plug that, United Way is kicking off their annual campaign, and I want to thank some of the hotelers already who have done days of caring in different ways that you can participate. So we'll be reaching out to the hotelers, and, I know that a lot of our employees live, paycheck to paycheck, but I'm always humbled by the amount that they will give, understanding that it's helping those that are worse off than they are. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. I mean, it's a wonderful group. I've been on that board in the past and the allocation committees in the past. And the United Way does a fantastic job serving a multitude of partner agencies here in our county and doing a lot of good for our community. So briefly, my item for today is I just wanted to let you all know that as the chair of the Port Authority, the chair of the TDC, and the chair of the Board of County Commissioners, I've made the decision to join Tamara and Charm on that trip to Brand USA's European Travel Week in London. So I thought if there was ever a time to go and tell the folks in Europe and around the world that they should come back and visit our area, that they would not be in the way, and that we do have folks who are counting on their visitation and their business, now's the time to do that. So I'm excited about that. So we'll be able to offer a full report when we come back. And I just wanted to say thank you for a great meeting today. I appreciate the work that y'all are doing, the jobs that you're creating, and the things that you're doing to persevere through this tough year. We did make it through 365, and I know it's only going to get brighter and better from here. So with that, there's no further business before us, so we're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Only thing I wanted to point out, it's on the screen right now. We did have to move the location of the annual meeting. It's now at Sanibel Harbor Marriott. It was originally scheduled for the Westin, but they have a group in, and that group appears to be growing a bit, so they can't accommodate us. That's a good thing. We're happy about it. I'm sorry we won't be at the West End, but we're going to be at Sanibel Harbor Marriott, so just mark your calendars as an update there.
We'll see you there.
Thank you.